here was the most despicable of it all. Democrats refuse to stand for Iryna Zarutska, the mother of Iryna Zarutska. And if you guys know anything, Iryna Zarutska was the young Ukrainian girl who was brutally murdered, stabbed in the neck while taking a train in Charlotte, North Carolina, by a repeat criminal. The fact that we have to say repeat criminal is astronomically insane, but by a repeat criminal who killed her unprompted, unprovoked. And this is the Democrats' response.
Arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail. Stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget.
I think that's her dad. That's her mom.
On that train, no one will ever forget the expression of terror on Iryna's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zarutska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Iryna.
Of course, anyone with common decency and humanity would stand.
How do you not stand?
Alas, Democrats didn't stand.
How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to...
It's like, it's even Trump, man, you like, how do you not stand? How do you not stand? And this should fill you with righteous anger. I'm not trying to arouse anger. I'm not trying to rage bait. I'm not trying to give you outrage porn. I am saying this as a man right now with a sober mind. This should enrage you. This should fill you with righteous anger as a believer. If you're a Christian, if you're just a common sense, decent human being, this should enrage you. Why? Because any common person with common decency will mourn and grieve parents who tragically lost their daughter to being stabbed unprompted by a repeat violent criminal. But the fact that Democrats did not stand, they did not stand for Iryna Zarutska, they did not stand for Iryna Zarutska, a poor innocent girl who wasn't even part of politics whatsoever, stabbed to death brutally, bleeding out, alone, in a bus. They cannot stand for that. I am sorry, you are scum. You are scum of the earth. You are absolute garbage human being. You're despicable. You are the spawn of Satan. It is unbelievable that you would not be able to stand for Iryna Zarutska. Democrats stood when Trump said we should ban insider trading. They had no problem protecting their little widow reputation to look good to their voters and to the constituents who vote for them. But they could not stand. Democrats could not stand for Iryna Zarutska, a poor innocent young woman stabbed to death, and the mourning parents of this girl, tragically and brutally murdered. They couldn't. They couldn't. It is unfreaking believable. The reason why they don't stand is because they know their policies cause this. Where a criminal who should have been behind bars, in prison, not let loose into society to harm the innocent, their policies caused this death, this tragic murder. And they continue to advocate for it. And that's why they don't stand, because it's all political theater for them at the end of the day. And don't get me wrong, it's political theater for a lot of Republicans, but at least they have the decency to stand for a grieving mother whose daughter was brutally murdered. Democrats truly are evil. Like, this is so revealing that they couldn't stand for Iryna Zarutska. This is not even politics at this point, man. It's not even politics. Like, have you no decency? And the side that constantly beats us over and over and over the head about empathy, about compassion, couldn't have an ounce of empathy or compassion for the family of Iryna Zarutska, for the mother of Iryna Zarutska. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I cannot imagine how you can just completely abandon your humanity just so that you can continue to amass votes, and you can smile while doing so, while the whole country burns, while people like this suffer and are literally killed. And at this point, it doesn't surprise me. The side that wants to kill babies mercilessly, indiscriminately, for no reason, up until birth, even after birth, if babies survive abortions, they still want to kill the baby. It is no surprise that this death cult does not stand to help and join in grieving and mourning a hurting mother who lost her daughter. T-Jazz, I think that's a really important point too. Half of these politicians participate in the most barbaric acts on a certain island. So it doesn't surprise me. The depths of evil that exist in our government, in this world, in the first world. We call this the first world, yet such unthinkable atrocities and evil exist and abound. Like, believers need to wake up. People, many times people will say it's time for a new crusade. Absolutely, it is time for a new crusade. It is truly, truly unbelievable. And I keep saying unbelievable. I just really can't believe it at this point. How evil and how depraved, how low people will go just to play politics. And Democrats wonder why Americans are leaving the Democratic Party in droves. Because they're insane. They hate America. They hate American citizens. They cannot even relate to or empathize with, have compassion for hurting Americans. They can't. They can't. And that fills me with such, like, seriously, sadness that these politicians who are supposed to represent Americans cannot even join in grieving an American who died. And Iryna Zarutska was an immigrant. She was a refugee. She was a refugee from Ukraine, from the Ukrainian war. She's supposed to be an immigrant. She's supposed to be an immigrant that Democrats champion. Democrats are supposed to be the party of immigrants, right? No, they don't. Why? Because she was white. Their racial grievance politics and their hatred for whites has gotten so batshite insane that they can't even grieve Iryna Zarutska, although she was an immigrant. And by their standards, they should be grieving her. They should be so sad about her death. No, because why? One, she died because of their policies, and two, she was white. So they don't care. They literally don't care that an innocent white girl was killed, brutally murdered. They might say, oh, Slavics aren't white. Yeah, I know, that's a separate conversation. But for all intents and purposes, they're white, right? The left considers them white. That's what we're dealing with right now, chat. That's what we're dealing with. Their hatred runs so deep. It really does. And it's so sad to see. And maybe it's not even hatred, but it is politicking. It is playing politics with people's lives. And it is unbelievable that we allow this. We're okay with this. And not in a very not so distant past in American history, politicians like this would have been completely ousted and ran off from the halls of Congress. They would not be able to hold political power whatsoever. But they do, because we live in a time that is chaotic. We live in clown world. We live in absolute clown world.